We're gonna have both of them sort of right here. How about that?
Awesome.
Scoot that one out this way. Let's do that.
It was a lover and his lass, with a hey and a ho and a hey, nonny no, that o'er the green cornfields did pass. In the springtime, the only pretty ring time, where the birds do sing, hey ding-a-ding-ding, sweet lovers love the spring. Between the acres of the rye, with a hey and a ho and a hey, nonny no, these pretty country folk would lie. In the springtime, the only pretty ring time, where the birds do sing, hey ding-a-ding-ding, sweet lovers love the spring. This carol they began that hour, with a hey and a ho and a hey, nonny no, how that life was but a flower. In the springtime, the only pretty ring time, where the birds do sing, hey ding-a-ding-ding, sweet lovers love the spring. Therefore take the present time, with a hey and a ho and a hey, nonny no, for love is crowned with a pride. In the springtime, the only pretty ring time, where the birds do sing, hey ding-a-ding-ding, sweet lovers love the spring. It was a lover and his lass, with a hey and a ho and a hey, nonny no, that o'er the green cornfields did pass. In the springtime, the only pretty ring time, where the birds do sing, hey ding-a-ding-ding, sweet lovers love the spring.
Under the green tree.
Under the greenwood tree, who loves to lie with me and tune his merry note unto the sweet bird's throat. Come hither, come hither. Here shall he see no enemy but winter and rough weather. Doth ambition shun, that loves to live in the sun, seeking the food he eats and pleased with what he gets. Come hither, come hither. Here shall he see no enemy but winter and rough weather. Thank you guys so much.
When I did it. How are you all? Welcome to the June 5th meeting of the Rotary Club of Louisville. I'm Barry Barker, president of our club and retired executive director of TARC. To lead us in our invocations, Beth Malcolm is going to do it. And Beth is president and CEO of the Kentucky YMCA Youth Association.
Thank you, President Barry.
If you'd come forward. And if what we're going to do is we're going to go through these young people, we're going to give them a really raucous round of applause at the end. Okay? So that way we can hear everyone. I feel like I'm at a graduation ceremony. Michaela will be graduating from Fairdale High School. She has volunteered at Americana Community Center, tree planting projects, and disaster relief projects in her native home of the Philippines. She most likely will pursue a business degree at the University of Louisville. Lawrence Biles. Lawrence will be graduating from Southern High School, where he has been involved in band, bowling team, and Best Buddies. His community service includes volunteering at elementary school music concerts, Special Olympics, Down syndrome basketball camp, Hikes Point Christian Church camp. He will pursue a degree in music education at the University of Louisville. Our next recipient is Hannah Sadakovich. Hannah, I hope I didn't butcher that. You can help me with that. Hannah is a graduate of Louisville Classical Academy. She has been actively involved in service at her school as well as her church, Douglas Boulevard Church, by providing childcare and tutors and students in Latin. Hannah is active in the Junior Classical League that encourages the rekindling of the classics. She plans to attend the University of Louisville this fall and major in computer information systems. Dana Thomas. Dana is a recent graduate of Presentation Academy, where she was involved in the academic team, advanced choral presettes, National Honor Society, played soccer, tennis, and field hockey. She volunteers at Nazareth Home, after-school tutoring, and led leadership forums at Pres. She plans to pursue a degree in nursing at the University of Louisville this fall. A round of applause, please. Our next recipient is Abigail Croft. Abigail is a recent graduate of Portland Christian School, where she was an Honor Society member. She is involved in RILA, the Rotary Youth Leadership, cheerleading, volleyball, worship team, and tech team. Her service opportunities include a recent mission trip to Poland and a variety of activities serving her church community. She will attend Bellarmine University this fall and major in exercise science. Our next, I'm sorry, we're going to do all my Bellarmines. So you all knew, we caught each other, sorry. Samuel Thompson. There we go. Samuel Thompson is a recent graduate of St. Xavier High School, where he was involved in the Air and Space Club, Chemistry Club, History Club, and Retreat Leader. He participated in the Governor's Scholar Program and was named a National Merit Finalist. Service includes peer tutoring, ESL tutoring, Dare to Care volunteer, and participated in the St. Joseph of Arimathea Society. Samuel wants to become a surgeon and will pursue a biology degree at Bellarmine University. Nicole Smith. Nicole is a recent graduate of Mercy Academy, where she was a member of the National Honor Society, Student Council, Theater, and FBLA. During her high school career, she completed 129 hours of community service with Dare to Care, Salvation Army, St. Vincent de Paul, Lifehouse Maternity, Catholic Charities, Norton Hospital, to name a few. This fall, she will attend Bellarmine University and pursue her nursing degree. Congratulations. Thank you. Our next recipient is Michaela Baxter. Michaela will be graduating from Pleasure Ridge Park High School, where she was actively involved in dance, choir, National Honor Society, Beta Club, and FCA. Her service work includes assisting at basketball camps, dance clinics, vacation Bible school, filming basketball games. I think her dad's a basketball coach over here. Working concession stands and tutoring students in math. She will pursue a degree in secondary education in the subject area of mathematics while attending Indiana University Southeast. Congratulations to Michaela. My next recipient is Michaela Davis. We had several Michaelas here. Michaela is a recent graduate of Presentation Academy, where she was involved in the Drama Club, School Theater Productions, National Honor Society, National Arts Honor Society, Archery Team, Anime Club, Dungeons and Dragons Club. She was involved in service opportunities at Glen Ridge Healthcare, Jewish South Medical Center, Earth and Spirit Center, Kentucky Refugee Ministries, and a volunteer usher at Actors Theater of Louisville. As she enters Spalding University, her major is undecided, but she's leaning towards a degree in the field of science. Congratulations. Our last recipient is Cameron Langford, and he is out of town and unable to attend, but I would like to highlight him. He plans to attend Jefferson Community and Technical College. Cameron Langford is a graduate of the Academy for Individual Excellence, where he serves as a kindergarten teacher aide, played soccer, participated in dramatic pause, as in dog, pause, and helped with the annual Santa breakfast. He regularly served as a babysitter, dog sitter, and house sitter. Cameron will attend Jefferson Community and Technical College this fall and wants to pursue a degree in early elementary education. We have a fabulous future with these young people ahead of us. Congratulations to each of you. And you may be seated. Next, we're going to present the actual Ted Burke scholarships. The following two students have been chosen to receive the Ted Burke scholarships. These students will receive a $2,000 scholarship from Rotary that will be matched by their chosen university. This scholarship is eligible to renew for a total of 4 years with a total of $16,000. Quite a scholarship. The first recipient, Maggie Burns. Come forward. Maggie will be graduating from Atherton High School, where she participated in field hockey, choir, and the National Honor Society. She is an active member of St. Paul United UMC, where she is an activity leader for Vacation Bible School, music camp, youth group, and participates in the national as well as international mission trips. She serves as a camp counselor at Camp Lucon, and her goal is to work in a pediatric intensive care unit and will pursue her nursing degree at Bellarmine University. Congratulations. And our last Ted Burke scholarship, our second, is Christopher Knuckles. If you come forward. Christopher will soon be a graduate of the Academy of Shawnee, where he participated in a variety of clubs and sports: Fellowship of Christian Athletes, Junior ROTOC, Student Council, Peace Education, football, track and field, basketball, Men of Quality, and the National Honor Society. He has volunteered for the Office of Safe and Healthy Neighborhoods as a member of the Youth Implementation Team and helped build over 425 beds in the Build-A-Bed initiative. Christopher plans to attend the University of Louisville and major in sports and administration and sports journalism. Congratulations. Thank you. As you can see, quite exemplary young people. I think that makes our future bright, and maybe we have some future Rotarians in the room. Thank you.
Congratulations to you. It is such an honor for me to get to introduce our guest speaker today, because this is someone whom I have worked with and known for many years. I will never forget receiving the phone call and asking, will you be on the interview team, and be the last to interview a candidate to take over what was, if you recall, in 2013, Rotarians, a very tumultuous time for our beloved Kentucky Shakespeare Company. And it had been tumultuous for a couple of years, and the Bard himself would have loved to have written a drama about that. And on the other end of that telephone was Matt Wallace. Matt Wallace is the producing artistic director of the Kentucky Shakespeare, the longest running free Shakespeare program in America, and produces hundreds and hundreds of Shakespeare performances from preschool to prison. That's right, I have seen Matt. What does he teach preschoolers? When you use Shakespeare, Matt believes it's the common thread that connects all of humanity. So the lesson I've seen him teach preschoolers goes something like this. Boys and girls, always remember, you can be anything you want to be. And the most important thing, he said, was, to thine own self be true, and it must follow as the night thy day thou canst. And I'm thinking, Matt, do you think these children have read Hamlet? He said, no, Barbara, that wasn't Hamlet, that was Polonius. Matt, I remember. And then I followed him into the third grade classrooms. He can bedazzle the third graders with conflict resolution and anger management. That is how he uses your Shakespeare Company here. He uses Midsummer Night's Dream and Romeo and Juliet to teach the children firsthand how to manage their own anger and how to resolve their own conflicts. And I said from preschool to prison, Matt Wallace, the gentleman that's preparing to take this microphone and bedazzle and razzle our minds and hearts and souls with Shakespearean stories, he is the man behind the Shakespeare Behind Bars. I know that you've heard of that program. It is an international phenomenon, and documentaries with awards so numerous we can't count them, Matt. I was there many times at the Luther Luckett Correctional Facility to watch Matt take hardened criminals who had made choices in life that destroyed other lives. But Matt saw something in those men. He taught them there is a life and a choice you can make through Shakespeare. I watched him tell them. So oft it chances in particular men that through some vicious mole of nature in them, be their virtues else pure as grace, shall, in the general censure, take corruption from that particular fault. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to the stage is Matt Wallace, whose first memory was a child who threw up on him in kindergarten. His first dollar was earned selling bubblegum cigarettes in elementary school, and the weirdest place this celebrity has ever been seen, he shared it, was in the delivery room at Norton Healthcare during the birthing process of his daughter. Rotarians, please welcome Matt Wallace.
How do you remember it? I think I love you. Thank you. Well, she covered everything. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you. Wow, what an intro. Thank you so much. She remembers everything. Oh my gosh, it's so great to be here. I'm Matt Wallace. I'm the producing artistic director of Kentucky Shakespeare. And so excited and nervous and honored to be here in front of all of these people I respect. I know several of you, and I'd like to know a lot of you because I'm really familiar with what you're doing. So it's great to be here. I always start our speech in the park with this. I'm going to ask how many people have never been to Kentucky Shakespeare before? Anybody never been to Central Park to see the Shakespeare Festival? Wow. Well, we hope you'll come join us. That means a lot of you have. That's great. How many people have been to Kentucky Shakespeare Festival in Central Park? Love seeing that. We're here for that length of time because of all the people like you coming to see what we're doing. Left the clicker on the table. And let me grab that. So excited to share a little bit about my journey, starting out as an actor and then kind of getting to where we are, and then to share a little bit about what we do at Kentucky Shakespeare and also Shakespeare Behind Bars. So if you're not familiar with us, there's our mission. We're grounded in the works of Shakespeare. We use the arts, we use theater experiences that educate, inspire, and entertain people of all ages. And it's that accessibility part of our mission that's been there for a really long time that we're focusing on now more than ever. And we actually developed a new vision statement in the past year to try to encompass everything else we do, and that is to use the universal truths of Shakespeare and the power of the arts to transform lives. Shakespeare belongs to everyone. We spend a lot of time, taking this off of a pedestal and giving it back to the people. Shakespeare is not something that he published in order for people to read. They weren't published until years after his death. He was writing these plays with these universal truths that still resonate today to talk to the people, and that's what we're trying to do. So I grew up in Bowling Green, Kentucky. In the 1980s, we relocated with the Corvette plant. I brought a lot of us St. Louisans there when I was in the first grade, and had 4 younger sisters, and always grew up, directing them around the house and, doing puppet shows. And my dad saw that he thought I might be into theater. And so we have a great community theater in Bowling Green called Fountain Square Players. And he took me down to audition, and I had played soccer and baseball and basketball. He said, "Oh, yeah, I'll do it as long as I don't have to wear tights." Well, lo and behold, my first production, I wore tights in Alice in Wonderland. That's me on the left as the March Hare. So I got it out of the way right away, and just fell in love with live theater, and grew up working with this excellent community theater, working, at night with doctors and lawyers and mechanics and plumbers. During the day, that's what they did, but at night we were producing theater. Nobody was being paid. It was so important to everybody. And that was probably still the most dramatic theater life I've ever had, is doing community theater with such a great community theater. My Evil Stranger in Aladdin has nothing on, the new Disney one has nothing on my performance there when I was 8 years old. So I grew up doing a lot of theater. And what was kind of cool is my dad, who worked on the assembly line at the Corvette plant, noticed what I was doing and said, "Well, I'm gonna try this." Well, lo and behold, he went on to act and direct and become involved. And so we were so close to Nashville, I started doing a lot of commercial and TV and film work growing up. And there was this movie that they were shooting down there that had the weirdest name, that I spent about a year telling people this movie that I was in, that nobody could pronounce it. It was called Forrest Gump. And it was shot, there's me with Tom Hanks. I was in college, and they flew me out and had a week on the set with Tom Hanks and 2 lines in the movie. One of my lines got cut, but still one's in there. About 20 minutes in, you could see me in that. But it was really theater and the live experience that excited me. The others were a great way to make money and help pay for theater school. So I went to college in St. Louis at a theater conservatory, Webster University, really with the main goal of being an actor. And it wasn't until I got out of college and moved to Chicago, and I started working with this company called HealthWorks Theater. Now, this is when the first school shootings started happening. And we were doing violence prevention and AIDS prevention theater. We would tour Chicago area, Wisconsin area with these plays that were interactive, but were also educating. I mean, it was even more controversial at that time. I remember we had a police escort. Some of our team had a police escort into Milwaukee to teach about AIDS education and safer sex and things like that. So that really opened my eyes to what theater can do. What are we using our art to do? And it's what really excited me. So I spent a lot of time working with that company, but it's also where I started working a little bit in theater administration. So after I acted with them, I got into the administration and the booking of workshops and how a theater operates. And that was a lot of the seeds of things that I would later use. In 2001, I auditioned for Midsummer Night's Dream at Kentucky Shakespeare. I thought it'd be fun just to come back for a couple shows and then leave. And that was 18 summers ago. And this young lady opposite me, we started dating about a week into rehearsals. And then I proposed to her on that stage, and we, oh, I'm going back, not the prison. I did not propose to her in the prison. I proposed to her on that stage. We now have 2 kids in a house and make Louisville our home. But we kind of kept saying, yeah, well, we'll stick around in Louisville as long as we can keep getting work. And because of a great woman named Becky Jo Schneider, who employed us at Derby Dinner Playhouse for many, many years, we were able to make a life here. And Kurt Tofflin, who ran Kentucky Shakespeare and employed us for many years, we were able to make a life here. And Tina is a regular actor at Derby Dinner Playhouse, and she also runs the children's theater series over there. Also that first summer, that was one of the first productions there, back to the prison. Kurt, the director, said, we're bringing you all out to the prison to see a play by inmates, and it's Titus Andronicus, which is Shakespeare's bloodiest play. And you know, I was not crazy about going. Through personal experiences, through a loved one that was seriously victimized by someone and going through the legal process, I really did not want to go. And I really thought that people who were locked up should stay locked up, and that didn't even really know that programs in prison were a thing. But when I came and saw that first program, my mind and my heart was forever changed, and I saw these guys in what is now a maximum security prison who've done heinous things. There are no minor crimes committed in the guys in this program. Whenever we have people come out and they say, oh, what are they in for, like theft? Or no, these are major crimes. But they're trying to change. They're trying to not be remembered for the worst thing they ever did. And the reality is that I was faced with is 98% of those incarcerated, they're going to get out. They're going to be our neighbors. So what are we going to do with them while we're there? And I fell in love with that program and came out and visited, proposed to my wife on the Central Park stage. That's us and Much Ado About Nothing in 2004. But stayed involved with Shakespeare Behind Bars. In 2010, Kurt retired and asked me to take over Shakespeare Behind Bars here. I applied for the Kentucky Shakespeare job twice and totally didn't get it. And so I really needed to move on. So I left Kentucky Shakespeare for 3 years, resigned, and really focused all of my energy on Shakespeare Behind Bars, which actually started as a program of Kentucky Shakespeare. But we were able to take it and form our own not-for-profit, build it up to 12 programs in 2 states. Kurt and I still partner on that. We use theatrical encounters with the incarcerated and the at-risk to change lives. We believe in the inherent goodness in people, and that inherent goodness must be called forward. There's also an award-winning documentary. You can find it on Netflix or Amazon called Shakespeare Behind Bars. Philomath Films spent a year with the program in 2003, following Kurt and the group in a year of that. And that's actually gone on to really allow us to affect so many more people. We have visitors from Australia, from all around the world coming to our prison in LaGrange, Kentucky. It's Luther Luckett Correctional Complex up there. I'm still involved with it. I have co-facilitators now, but I'm in my 12th season of facilitating that program. We spend 1 year working on a Shakespeare play with inmates as the actors. And it's not so much about actors as it is about telling the truth, about stripping away. So I just gave the guys a script, because we just finished King Lear out there. They're going to spend the summer reading the script, getting to know it, casting themselves over the summer. And I will return in September to start working through, and then over the course of about 9 months, we're delving into it. We're taking a lot of time just to talk about them and life and trust and communication and taking responsibility. And it's really a safe circle in an unsafe place for them. It's the only place most of our guys can cry in the prison. So it's really, truly a haven for them. For me personally too, It's my escape. I always say it's odd that I go to prison to escape. But when I lock my phone in the car and we go in and we're focusing in the moment on our lives, on Shakespeare, on these men, it is a pretty, for anyone who's not experienced something like pretty amazing to be truly in the moment of something like that. I'll be talking to the guys and tell them, do you realize how right now we're all looking at each other and no one's checking a phone and everybody's truly in the moment, but we're working on them and we see results. This is Merchant of Venice we did. Several of the guys in this are out now and doing well. We also started juvenile programs. This is in the Audubon Youth Development Center that existed for several years, for many years here. It's not currently, but in the Department of Juvenile Justice. So for about a dozen years, I worked with juvenile offenders through multidisciplinary arts programs. Now, this is these are some of the results we saw with the juveniles. 94% improved grades, 70% less critical incidents, fights, disciplinary write-ups while they were involved in the program. And we see the results with our adult program. This is now our 25th season next year of Shakespeare Behind Bars at Luther Luckett Correctional Complex. Of all the guys we've come through, we track recidivism. So the state tracks 3 years. So they keep track of them, then we track all the years. National average about 67%. About 30% for the state of Kentucky. We have 6% recidivism for the guys who've gone through Shakespeare Behind Bars and gotten out. So Shakespeare in the Park. Speaking of Becky Jo Schneider, my mentor, the second producer of Kentucky Shakespeare before she went to go run Derby Dinner Playhouse, that's her in the middle in the white dress in the 1960s performing on the Doug Ramey Amphitheater. She passed away a year ago, and we're still dealing with the loss, but we have dedicated our current season to Becky Jo, and we've also permanently named our internship program the Becky Jo Schneider Internship Program. So when you see those dozen interns working with us, 50 years from now, just know that they're the Becky Jo interns. So this is the 59th season of this. So I applied the third time after Barbara interviewed me and I got the job. But I got my dream job in not dream circumstances. The company was at an all-time low of serving about 4,800 people in the summer of 2013. So I knew we really had to make some changes, but I also got to make some changes that I always wanted to see with that company. And it was getting back to the mission, remembering we're a not-for-profit, we're a charity, we're a service organization, and we're also a professional theater. So instead of cutting back on programming, doing more for the community and making it about not us, but who we're serving. That's my view on a Saturday night when we had 1,200 people this year. I'm gonna grab a glass of water really quick. I get excited about Shakespeare. So the 59th year, this is my favorite view. We don't just do Shakespeare in the Park. A lot of people think that's what we do, but it's not just Shakespeare in the Park. We're the largest in-school arts provider in the Commonwealth. We serve this year 98 counties, 80,000 kids through Shakespeare. We expanded the season from 1 month to 10 weeks, using the same ensemble, just like in Shakespeare's day, the same actors doing multiple shows. And we also invited more people to the party, the Louisville Ballet, local theaters. That's our show last season. We did Comedy of Errors, Henry IV, and Othello. That's a little grid of our audiences. By making it more inclusive, by adding pre-shows every night, by, we took, whether it's Down syndrome of Louisville or Amped, or West Louisville Performing Arts this year on opening night, different pre-show acts. By doing that, we went from 4,800 people up to 30,000 people that we're currently serving, giving away free Shakespeare. We went away from, there was a movement to charge for the first few rows of $25 a seat. That was the very first thing I did away with when I came. And people thought it was nuts, because here's a money-making opportunity. But by embracing that mission of free, we actually made so much more money in donations and earned income there in the park. And for the first time, our budget's now over $1 million. Uh-oh. That was the first time I flew anybody in Central Park in the Tempest. These are some of the pre-shows and the community activities. A new thing we have from Louisville Metro in an Imagine grant is the Kids Globe. Because people asked, what can I do with my kids in the park? So now we have an inflatable tent every night for an hour before the show, and you can have interactive, hands-on activities. But we also wanted to branch out. You know, we've got a lot of work to do, not just the misconception of Shakespeare, but one of the things that makes us unique is we're an open-air park downtown. Unlike the Shakespeare in the Park in New York, where you have to wait in line all day to get a ticket, you can come and go as you want. Whoever gets there first gets the best seats. I wanted to take it out of the park and get more people comfortable with the way we do Shakespeare and hopefully get them to come. So we started Shakespeare in the Parks, plural. A lot of this is sponsored by Louisville Metro Council members and their districts. But now we branched out to go as far as Bowling Green this year, LaGrange, Pewee Valley. Just to give you an idea, these are the parks we went to this year. 28 area parks. We started with 9. These are sponsored in the local districts, whether we're in Linden, St. Matthews, but a majority of it is here in Louisville. We performed as far west as Shawnee Park. Tons in the city. Barbara brought us to Smoketown for the first time. What an amazing experience that was, wasn't it? The very first time of Shakespeare in the Park in Smoketown, and see people showing up. And we see this, the more we do it, and Barbara has done this every year that she's been a councilwoman, is brought us, that the more we do it, the more they come, and it becomes a tradition, and it's right in their neighborhood, and they can step out, and we're trying to remove those barriers. This is Julius Caesar in Shawnee Park a few years ago. We also branched out to Shakespeare in the Libraries. So this will be our 5th year of the Shakespeare in the Libraries tour. These are 2-actor accessible versions, kind of like what Barbara was talking about, with puppets and masks, and we go into all the library system in the fall. And that's become an annual tradition, and we see that happening every year. Community programs and some of the Shakespeare behind bars type work is really what excites me. We started Shakespeare with veterans 3 years ago, and we have a troupe of military veterans from all branches of service. They meet weekly at the Vet Center with our facilitator, Amy Attaway, who's our Associate Artistic Director. It's been featured on BBC Worldwide, the Huffington Post, and that's really exploded. And now we have other people coming to Louisville to see how to start veterans programs, and that's pretty exciting. That's our Gilda's Club program. We started a program called Survivorship Shakespeare with the Norton Cancer Institute. So we're using, again, the arts for healing, hope, processing, and this is our Gilda's Club camp will actually be on stage in a couple weeks in Central Park. In 2016, really wanted to dedicate some time and energy and money to helping immigrants and refugees, and that's when we started our Shakespeare Without Words program. Now this uses the universal language of physical theater to tour to Kentucky Refugee Ministries, Americana, the Backside Learning Center, and the Backside is now getting their own camp as well this summer. Shakespeare Shuttle, busing from community centers. That's something we're just starting, partnering with Miller Transportation to try to expand that. Again, we're trying to remove the barriers. And last year we served a record 109,000 people through all these programs. We're also trying to measure empathy and community impact. If you look at some of these stats, We borrowed this from Cincinnati Shakespeare, and we're trying to measure that community impact, feeling safer, feeling more connected. This is our season. There are postcards on your table. Please come see us out in Central Park. If you were listening to that bluegrass music playing while you were eating, that is actually As You Like It. Those were Shakespeare's words. That was Aaron Biebelhauser from the band Relic. And we're out there now. It's running tonight, running all weekend, followed by Henry IV, Part 2, Part 3, Part 2. Part 3 will be Henry V next summer. It is our Game of Kings series. So Game of Thrones might be over, but the Game of Kings continues. And if you haven't seen it, we do a previously on. I'm also directing King Lear. That's the third professional show in our season. And then you'll see, where else can you come see the Louisville Ballet for a week with a world premiere of Cleopatra, Queen of Kings. We have the Louisville Improvisers this Saturday night improvising a Shakespeare play. We have our Globe Players student troupe doing a week. We have Cincinnati Shakespeare coming down for a couple performances. So really the story of all of this is just what can we do to remove those barriers between people and art? And particularly with us, we believe that we can remove those barriers between professional art. When you're seeing an artist in the classroom that Barbara was talking about, those are professional actors and artists, and giving them world-class quality there. And we're really proud of the fact that 97% of the people that we use live and work right here in this community. Right now we have about 60 to 65 people working with us over the summer. We're working with other arts organizations to try to keep them here and trying to make it accessible. This is, I just wanted to share a couple photos. The actors up here were not in costume, but this production of As You Like It, we set in 19th century Kentucky. It's a very musical play. So you'll see a tobacco barn on stage. You'll see lots of live fiddling, banjo playing, and it's all Shakespeare's words. We don't change a thing. But again, we think if we can get people here to experience it and say, wow, this isn't some sort of museum piece. These things that King Lear's talking about still resonate with me today. Then maybe we can make our community a better place. Any questions?
Barbara Sexton Smith here, Councilwoman. Matt, please talk about War of the Worlds
Oh, absolutely.
and future plans for that kind of collaboration.
Sure, so we've been trying to, about a few years ago, just branch out and do some indoor productions, because I know there are people who don't want to sit outside in the nice, cool Central Park weather. So the first year we did 12th Night at the Kentucky Center, and it was a huge success. And we did a couple of those indoor shows. Where we haven't done one the last couple of years just because it's so cost prohibitive and we really need a sponsor. But we did start doing some Halloween productions. So the first year, that Titus Andronicus I talked about, we could never do that in the park. It's way too bloody. But I thought, where we could do it is in a Butchertown warehouse for Halloween. So that's what we did, and it was a huge hit. Again, though, bringing young people there and seeing this and say, I thought this was like The Sopranos, but this was Shakespeare. And so we did it again at LVA in their warehouse the second year. And then last year, I don't like doing the same thing, so we tried and we did a radio drama of the War of the Worlds, the original broadcast in Louisville Public Media's live performance studio. And we've just announced that we're going to do that again. So for Halloween, you can come for 4 weeks to Louisville Public Media's performance studio and see a radio drama recreation of Night of the Living Dead. So if you're into zombies, come see it. Anything else? Any other questions or thoughts? Cool. Well, thank you, everybody. We'll see you in Central Park.
I want to talk about service above self. Matt, you're great. We've got one interesting piece of business. Chris has got a couple of extra tickets. You want to come up and describe them? And what we're going to do is auction those off, and they'll go to the Rotary Fund.
Any Cards fans in the house? Any Cards fans? All right. So Super Regionals, as you know, they're starting tomorrow. Got 2 tickets.
Mike.
Sorry. I didn't want to bump Barry out of the way. Sorry. 2 tickets to the Super Regionals tomorrow, right behind home plate, row E. Be joining myself, unfortunately, with my son Liam. So I've got 2 tickets, and as I've seen in the past, if we can auction these off, I'd like to start the bidding at, let's say just double over face value should be fair, which would be $40, $10 a piece. $40 for 2 tickets to the Super Regionals to support the Cards. It is at noon, which is a little bit challenging on a day's notice. Yeah. Barbara?
Why mess with when you get a professional, Barbara?
I think Barbara could take it probably from $50 to a couple $1,000.
No,
easy.
don't you? Do you want to do the auction for us?
Yes, please, thank you.
Okay, so I was talking to my guest. We're auctioning something off here today, and it is absolutely fabulous. And I think we've got 2 tickets, ladies and gentlemen. There are 2 tickets, and the face value is?
$10.
This is improvisation. Now, come on, we just heard from the greatest, Matt Wallace. We're improving. So, face value of the tickets are?
$10 a piece for each ticket.
Okay, $10 no holler. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to start at $50 ticket. Do I hear $50? Is there $50 anywhere in the back of the room? Is anybody awake, or if you're sleeping, if somebody's sleeping next to you, tap them on the shoulder. $50 for both tickets. Do I hear $50 for both tickets? Come on, give me 5, give me 5. Okay, I got $50 for both tickets. Is this where you go up or down? Oh, wait a minute, oh, down. Okay, come back here. All right, so we're going to let him have 2 tickets for $50 and less. Do I hear 55? Is there 55? Do I have 55? Remember when speeding used to be 55? Now it's 70. It's out of control. We'll cut you in the middle. Do I hear 65? Is there $65 for 2 tickets?
Right
65.
behind home plate.
Oh, see, look, give him a round of applause. He piped up. $65. Are you bidding $65 for 2 tickets? No? No? Okay. Do I have 65? No? Okay. 660. Do I see 60 for 2 tickets? 60 for 2 tickets. If not, I'm going to back her down. I see blue lights in my rearview mirror. I'm coming back to $50 for 2 tickets. Do I? $50. $50 going once. $50 going twice. Sold.
Thank you very much.
Ring that bell.
Thank you. Thank you. Part of the job of being president is recognizing talents and skills in the membership. Let's give Barbara a round. Just fabulous job, Matt. That was incredible. The stuff that you all are doing is great. Where are we meeting next week? Where's here? Fraser. Can I get a little more enthusiasm? Fraser. Okay. And Craig Sherman will be in the back to answer any Rotary questions you got. We are adjourned.